I thought he cakewalked through the East, but he went to 8 straight finals. Mm-hmm. He's been to 10 finals in the last 14 years, not counting this year, obviously, through the bubble. And I think a lot of people thought the bubble was an asterisk championship because the Lakers sort of stayed together during the bubble, and I called it cubic zirconia ring.
Well, Skip, I mean, but they don't say that about football. But look at the Ravens. Okay. Ravens lost how many players to COVID? Mm-hmm. They had to miss multiple games. Lamar Jackson had to miss games, right?
All right, but they lost.
But that's what I'm saying. Okay. So because LeBron, they had to go to the bubble and they overcame.
Okay. But speaking of social media, I think LeBron inspires a lot of resentment because he comes across as this front-running showboat who's always out there beating his own chest. He's always trying to tell you how great he is. He's always trying to make his own case that he's greater than Jordan.
Right.
That about clinched it, right? When we pulled off the 3-1 comeback.
Let me ask you a question. Does the networks mention ratings? Do they say who has the #1 comedies? Who has the #1 sitcom? Who has the #1 this?
Okay.
So that's a part of it, right?
Sure.
Everybody pats themselves on the back. Every movie franchise, so this is not, that's the thing, Skip. Everybody wants to make it seem that everything LeBron does is unique to LeBron. Skip, in the 80s, you people don't realize this, but Magic Johnson and Larry Bird was in every finals, every NBA finals in the 80s. There was not one final in which Magic Johnson or Larry Bird did not compete. Okay. And nobody said they were tired of him going or they were cakewalking.
Because it was the greatest individual rivalry in the history of the sport.
Skip,
and it was also black versus white, Skip, which was like for the networks, thank you, God.
Skip, I'm not denying that, but nobody was tired of that. Mm-hmm. When do we get tired of greatness? We should admire it.
Yeah, but he's only 4-6 in the finals.
But Skip, so because he's 4-6, that means he's not great.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky didn't win every Stanley Cup he went to. Is Gretzky not great?
Okay, but think about what LeBron does on social. Half the time I just cringe and hide my eyes because I'm activating playoff mode.
Okay.
In his first year in LA.
Right.
And you know what happened down the stretch?
Right.
They didn't even make the playoffs. And then recently, a storm is coming. A storm? Because in the fourth quarter of those 6 games against Phoenix, he went 11 for 30, that's 36.7%. He went 2 of 12 from 3, that's 16.7%. And he made 6 of 12 free throws, which is 50%. And in 3 of those 6 fourth quarters, he shot no free throws because I think a lot of people believe what I believe. He's such a lousy free throw shooter, especially late in games, that he runs from the free throw line. So I think a lot of people say, you're just overrated, and you're always beating your own chest.
How can a man that has done what he's done be overrated? Now, remind you, he came out straight out of high school.
Yeah.
And he's ascended to levels that even by his standard, people didn't think he could ascend to. How is that overrated when for 17 straight years you averaged 25 points or more per game? You're a 13-time first-team All-NBA player. Nobody has more than 11. You're 17 straight years starting in the All-Star game. Nobody can touch that. You look at what he's done. He's the youngest to 5, 10, 15, all the way up to 35,000 points. And he's 10 finals, 4 MVPs, 4 finals MVPs, and that's overrated?
He's a lousy shooter.
Skip,
for his superstardom, he's lousy.
Skip, that's like saying this actress, because she can't walk in heels, she's not any good.
Okay, but
nitpicking.
Shooting is nitpicking?
Yes.
It's half the battle, if not 2/3 of the battle.
There's no way you get 35,000 points if you can't shoot.
Greatest driver of the basketball.
That's it. So how do you get the ball in the basket if he's not shooting it?
3-point shooter. He's 34.5 for his career. It's a terrible percentage.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What is Jordan and what is Kobe? They're greater shooters than LeBron James, but what are they from 3-point?
Okay, well, obviously, Jordan did not emphasize the 3-point.
But they got but considering that they got a percentage on him, so that means he did shoot enough to qualify. So what is that? Okay. Is it greater than 35, 34.5?
No, it is not. Free throws, absolutely, because LeBron's a career 73% free throw shooter. It's just pathetic for his greatness. It's his Achilles heel. And nobody, since he entered the league in the last 5 seconds of games, since he entered the league, no one's even close to him and missed free throws in games that were tied or close.
What great player had everything? Could Michael Jordan shoot threes like Steph? So that means he's not great then, right?
I'll bet he would have if they had emphasized it. I'll bet if you'd given him a couple of off seasons to focus just on threes.
He could have.
We did have this game against Portland,
yes.
right? Would he make 7 in the first half?
I mean, LeBron has had games where he's made 8.
He has had some hot shooting.
Okay.
But he's also missed since he came into the league, nobody has missed more last-second shots in close games than LeBron.
And nobody's made more.
Okay, but he's made
part of it.
relatively few compared to how many he's missed. He's missed 97 of those shots since he came into the league. Dwayne's the only one close to him at 77.
Skip, what guy has made more game-winning shots than he's missed? Name the guy. I want to know the guy. Did Jordan make more than Kobe, KD, Dame, Steph? Skip, come on now.
He's missed so many, and he's run from the free throw line so many times.
The number says he's the most clutch. That's what the numbers say. If you want to take his percentage in which he's made to what he's attempted, the numbers say LeBron is the clutchest.
Okay, but think about the meltdowns. This is why people think he's overrated. The meltdown against Boston in 2010, and his insiders had to say that he had to be sedated before games 4, 5, and 6 of that series. The meltdown against Orlando the year before. The meltdown the first year in the finals.
Skip, you got to stop with this melt because you Skip.
They're meltdowns.
The man averaged against Orlando 38, 8, and 8. And Skip Bayless said he had a meltdown.
Go look at 4, 5, and 6.
Skip, even if he averaged 2 points a game in 4, 5, and 6, how do you get to average 38? Now you over there crowing about Kawhi averaging KD averaging 32. LeBron averaged 38, 8, and 8, and you said he had a meltdown.
Well, 2011 in the finals against Dallas, that was awful.
Skip, you can't take one incident and says, okay, now you try to paint his whole career off of 2011.
2013 Game 6, last 3 minutes. Go check it out. Last 3 minutes.
You see what you do?
Tell me what you see.
Skip, you see what you do?
I see meltdown.
You take it a 48-minute ball game and you'll break it down to minute seconds.
Well,
Come on, Skip.
these were not minute seconds. These were 3 minutes. So look at the last.
I'm just going to make sure.
Call up the play-by-play and tell me what you see.
Just so I'm hearing you correctly, every great player has played great all 48 minutes. They've never had a bad stretch, a bad 30 minutes, a bad 30 seconds, a bad 5 minutes, a bad game, a bad 4 games. Every great player.
I'm giving you a litany. I'm giving you 2014. Go look at games 3 and 4 back in Miami. He just disappeared in those 2 games, and they got blown out by a record finals margin.
So are you telling me I wouldn't be able to go back and find any great player in a playoff stretch?
Sure, but a lot of people think he's the GOAT.
Okay, then.
And that's why, I don't know if hate is the right word, but a lot of people think he's just overrated. They don't hate him.
Nobody's think LeBron is overrated. If you think
yes, they do.
If you think LeBron James is overrated, given his resume, you don't know basketball.
Well,
you don't know basketball.
Then I don't know basketball.
Well, you don't.
Okay.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
I have carefully watched LeBron since day one, and I have been first guessing this and ahead of this curve all the way, and he is overrated when you try to make the case he's the GOAT. It's shameful.
Okay. So that's the only reason. So if I don't say he's the GOAT, he's not overrated. So that's what you're going to base it on.
If you don't, but you do. That's
No.
You say best player on planet and GOAT. It's laughable to me. It's not even close. Not even in the same stratosphere with that guy in Chicago.
Skip.
Well, you know it and I know it.
So
that's what people are reacting to. He's overrated because the media, listen, the media, the sports media has never sort of idolized and protected a player more than has. No,
Jordan.
Stop.
Jordan.
No.
Jordan. And you know it.
I don't know.
You do know it.
In the middle of it.
Jordan.
No.
Jordan. They protected and idolized it.
6-0 in the final.
Skip. You see? That's it.
6-0. 6 MVPs.
Skip. We're not Skip. That's not that. Okay. He did that. He is 6-0 with 6 MVPs.
Yeah.
But to say he's never had a bad game, to say he's never had a bad stretch would be just disingenuous.
Well, he had a couple, but not like this guy. This guy's got epic fails all over his resume, and people just wipe the slate clean.
Nobody wiped the slate clean. You Skip, it's gotten so bad with you, you'll go back to 3 minutes in the ball game. You remember that game in 2014? The final 3. You talking about the final 3 minutes of game 6. You went to 3 minutes in a game.
2013.
Let that sink in.
Be 3 minutes.
In an 18-year...
He should be 3 and 7 in the finals, except for the greatest clutch shot I ever saw by Ray Allen. Saved his legacy. It's a fact. It's just a fact. You can just go look it up.
Skip, I mean, just think about this, Skip. If somebody went back and over your life and said, back in 2nd grade, at 6:45 p.m., you did this. And so everything else you've done is wiped away. That's what you just did. You base everything. You went to 3 minutes in a ball
I'm doing the
game.
finals. I'm doing his resume in the finals that he's been to 10 times.
You see?
This was more of a love to hate situation. I like because of his success.
Yes.